What's up, YouTube community, and welcome to Invest Desk, yet another live stream. I'm going to be talking about a real breaking news here, very important, and we'll evaluate and take a look at what that is very shortly. But Invest Desk, this is your number one channel for investing in cryptocurrency with daily updates, news, and forecasts. My name is Syed, and today we are going to take a look at Dogecoin mining and how that is shaping up all across the world, and some of the great breaking news moving forward. So yes, you heard it right, Dogecoin mining. I'm going to be talking about what that is, how can you actually get into it if you need to, but otherwise just overall what the mining process is and how Dogecoin is going to be on the moon pretty soon. All right, so I'm going to talk about that. So welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and of course comment, right? So the idea is that once we engage and we talk about the ideas, we really understand where Dogecoin is positioned and in the long run. So if you have a long position with Dogecoin, awesome. And that's exactly what our strategy is here. And on this channel, I focus specifically on Dogecoin, or primarily on Dogecoin, even though I also talk about other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other upcoming as well, or initial coin offerings also, but mainly my focus is Dogecoin. We're going to build this fascinating community. This is the future. Cryptocurrency is the future. Okay, all right, so before I talk about the actual Dogecoin mining, let's quickly recap what we did yesterday. Just a brief summary. We talked about the Coinbase IPO, right? And that's a pretty neat thing, because Coinbase is going public, which is a cryptocurrency exchange where you can buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrency. So what that means is once that goes public, it's going to be under the regulatory framework, right? Under the SEC within the United States. So if they get regulated, that means investors like us, retail investors, will have more protection from the government, which is, in my opinion, is pretty big, right, moving forward, because as more and more exchanges go public and fall under the regulatory framework, that's great, right? That's awesome news. And the other thing that we also talked about briefly was that the mayor in Miami, right, wanted to implement cryptocurrency and pay their employees, pay the city employees, vendors, and customers, and transact in Bitcoin. And that ruling was kind of stopped by the commissioners temporarily, and commissioners wanted to make sure that all of the community itself is educated first on cryptocurrency before they actually vote on making it official. So that was some of the things that we talked about yesterday. But today we're going to focus on Dogecoin mining, and we'll let's jump right into it. But before I do, let me talk about the actual quick price so far. Dogecoin is at 0.051. It has been for the last week or so, 0.055, in that range. So that's a pretty kind of stable range so far. But if it goes low, of course you buy. It's my own strategy, my own research here with you as we move mining. You are you get the first-hand breaking news behind getting into Dogecoin mining. Okay, now there are huge mining centers all across the globe. Some in Finland, some in Argentina, of course in the United States and Texas, within the US, and then China as well. China has been pretty much the forefront. China and the US have been kind of like going hand in hand with Bitcoin mining. Okay, even though in China the Chinese government sort of like banned cryptocurrency because they didn't want to use them, but they allowed the mining part. But recent development just yesterday, there's some breaking news where one of the Chinese companies are actually going to mine Dogecoin, guys. Dogecoin to the moon, and that's exactly what the news is. So let me bring that up and let me share that news with you. And let's see, there it is. Perfect. All right, so you see it, right? So this is the company that's called eBang International, right? and this is going to launch Litecoin and Dogecoin mining business. And this is yesterday's news, right? So eBank International Holdings, which is of course traded on NASDAQ, a blockchain technology company in the global market, today held a meeting and they passed a resolution simply, launching a resolution to launch a Litecoin and Dogecoin mining business. And that's super exciting. Okay, so the company plans to operate Dogecoin mining business by adopting a combination of deploying mining machines and mining machines purchased from others. So they're gonna even create their own hardware, or they're gonna purchase like Radeon or other hardware from mining hardware from other companies. And that's really interesting. Now, another thing that you kind of need to know is that in China, the cost of electricity in certain areas was very low because they had, dams available, or just the cost was low. So these companies, these Bitcoin mining, infrastructure, because it takes a lot of electricity, right? Because you need to have a lot of power generation involved. So in certain areas where there was less power in China, these companies were using that to their advantage. Okay, but of course, with the Chinese government, you never know, and in between somewhere they stopped some of these companies, so they had to kind of shift outside China and go to other areas of the world, maybe South America or even Europe, like Finland area, where the temperature is really cold, because you don't want to have a mining center in the middle of the desert, right? It's going to cost you too much just to cool all those the hardware. Okay, so all right, so eBank International just yesterday announced that they are going to launch Litecoin and Dogecoin mining business. Now, what does that mean for Dogecoin, guys? Right, of course, it's pretty obvious. Okay, so the CEO of the company said, we will develop LTC and Doge mining on the basis of our Bitcoin mining business. So this company is already mining Bitcoin, so they know exactly what to do, and they've been doing it. So the development of or adding Dogecoin to their existing infrastructure is awesome. It's great news, right? So this will further promote their related cryptocurrency focused business and increase, of course, their revenue, and that's the bottom line. And that's really their vertically integrated blockchain company with comprehensive involvements in the blockchain industry value chain. And again, you can take a look at this. This is great. Okay, so super exciting. The Dogecoin mining business is launched by eBank International, and they're already mining Bitcoin. So this is one of the areas that I want to talk about, right, is the Dogecoin mining. But what really is mining? So those of you who know, perfect. But if you don't know what mining is and how it kind of works, so I want to talk about that briefly so you really understand how it's going to work, the mining part of it. Okay, because it's important to know and understand crypto mining, right? So to understand mining, and before I actually talk about get into crypto mining and Dogecoin mining and how it works, and then how even you can do it if you want to, right? Back in those days when Bitcoin was launched, it was just easier for one of your laptops or computers to start mining Bitcoin, but now it takes a lot of hardware and the cost is fairly high. So I'm going to talk about that too, but before I do, just hit the subscribe button, make sure you like and get those comments coming in. And I want to bring up my jar here quick. This is our subscriber jar, so keep filling it up. Hit that subscriber button, I appreciate it. All right, and also let me bring back up our price chart. There we go. Perfect. And here's my jar. This is our subscriber jar, guys. So thank you for your support. I appreciate it. This channel is growing rapidly, and I know you guys are liking the content, so hit the like button before I move forward. So all right, so let's talk about the actual mining, right? Understanding crypto mining what it is. So we know that cryptocurrencies, how they work, right? Cryptocurrencies are basically peer-to-peer digital currencies, right? That decentralized. This means that they basically allow money to be transferred from one person to another without using a bank. And every cryptocurrency transaction is basically recorded in a database that's basically the blockchain, right? That's called the blockchain. And this, the database is stored across thousands of computers called nodes. All right, so just think of them as a bunch of computers, all across the globe. And these nodes put together groups of new transactions and add them to the blockchain. And these groups are called blocks. So each block of transaction has to be checked by all of these computers, all the nodes on the network, before being added to the blockchain. All right, I just had a water break. All right, cool. So we're talking about the actual blockchains, right? And nodes on the network and how they're added. They're called blocks. And each block of transaction has to be checked by all of these computers on the network before being added to the blockchain itself. And if these nodes, they do not check these transactions, people could pretend that they have more money than they really do. Well, that's, theoretically speaking, right? So to confirm all these transactions, and that confirmation of these transactions is actually called mining, okay? And this requires a lot of compute power. You need, huge, bunch of thousands, depending on the server farm that you're putting together to mine. It requires a lot of compute power and, of course, electricity, right? Which is extremely expensive depending on where you are in which part of the world. And blockchains, don't have like paid employees like banks do or other firms have. So what they do is as an incentive, you get a reward, right? To confirm these transactions or to mine, you get a reward. And basically what the reward is, guess what? It's actually Dogecoin or Bitcoin, whatever it is that you're mining, right? So the process of being rewarded with new currency for confirming these transactions is basically called mining. Okay, so there you go. If you knew it, that's fine. If not, then now you know. So it's called mining because it's like digging, right? So you're confirming these transactions. Basically, it's just like digging for gold or diamonds. Instead of digging with a shovel, you're basically using a computer, right, for crypto coins. So think of it that way. So let's get on to what is Dogecoin mining. How does that actually work, right? More specifically, now we talked about the mining of cryptocurrency, right? Whether it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. What is Dogecoin mining, and how this Chinese company, eBank International, is going to be, working with Dogecoin? The company's already mining Bitcoin, right? So this is nothing new for them. So Dogecoin mining would be the process of basically